Okay, so hello everyone. In last class, we have implemented the CRUD operation. Okay, we are creating the project to implement the CRUD operation. Okay, so CRUD means C means create, R means is what? R means read, U means update, and D means delete. Okay, so we have done with this create. So for creating, we have created one insert button which will insert the record in the table. This is what we have implemented, right? Okay. R means read. Read means these all records we are reading from where? These all the data we are reading from the database. So what we are performing? We are performing reading operation. Now the pending operation is update. Okay, so for update we have this update button, but there is no functionality on this button, right? So we will implement the functionality today. And D stand for delete. For delete, we have delete button, but there is no delete functionality applied on this button. So for that, we will create the delete, right? But if you want to delete these entries, so from the admin panel, you can delete. Okay, so what you need to do, you just need to go to the admin panel. Okay, so localhost 8000 is the port number and /admin, right? So here, let me log in as a admin. Password is 123. Okay, so here we have employee data. So this is what we can say, this is the backend, right? This is what backend. But let's suppose I want to delete all the entries, just click on it, click on delete, select delete and go. So this is what delete operation we are performing, right? So these records, these 100 records deleted, and these are the remaining records are there. But if you want to remove these also, you can remove. But you can see here on the front end, if I refresh it, so how many records we are getting here? We are getting how many records? 5 records. Okay. So if you will insert any new record, so this insert page will come. Okay. So this is what create. So let's suppose I'm writing here roll number is 1112 and name is, let's suppose Lucy, and salary is, let's suppose salary is 40,000, address let's suppose Jaipur. Okay, insert record. So record has inserted. Okay, but what I want, when I click on this this record should delete. Okay, so let me tell you one thing. Okay, how we will delete this record? So for example, this is the delete button. When I am clicking on this delete button, the unique ID of this record should be shared. Okay, based on this particular record ID, we will delete this complete entry. Okay, so you might be thinking, is that the ID? This is the employee ID. This is what employee ID. This is not the ID which is given by the Django. Right? What ID I'm talking about? When you go to the, okay, so when you go to the Django project, in the Django project, you will go to the database. In the database, which application? Test app employee, right? So here, see, whatever fields we are having there, same fields also we are having here as well, right? And here you can say we have employee number, employee name, employee salary. And here what I'm telling you about this ID. So this ID column, which is not created by us, but these ID columns are created by the Django. And these all the IDs given by the Django. So with the help of this particular ID, we will track complete record, complete entry. Okay, so we will whenever we are clicking on the button, whenever we are clicking on the delete button, so while clicking on this delete button, we will share the unique ID. Let's suppose I want to delete this record. So while pressing the delete button, I will share this unique ID, right? So what exactly we have to do? We have to do just two steps, right? Let me tell you. You might be confusing, but for that, let's display the ID on front end. These can be display these all ID on our front end. The answer is yes. Okay, right now we are not having any that unique ID which is there in the database, but I want to display here. So how can I display that? To display that, I'll go into the I will go into where into the models. Okay, so here is the file models.py. So in the models.py file, I'll open it. Okay, okay, not models.py file. I'm sorry for that, but we have to go to the admin.py file. Okay, so where is the admin file? This is the admin.py file. Okay, so here we have to tell what are the columns we want to display. So we want to display the ID column as well. So let's write here ID, right? So now we will see the ID column as well. Okay, but there will be a problem. Okay, what will be the problem? The problem is on the on what we can say template. On the template, we didn't mention table column for the ID. So here we are saying employee ID, but here I'll create a column which is for record ID or just ID I can say. Okay, and here also I need to fetch the ID. How to fetch the ID? I'll create TD. Let's create TD, and inside the TD, let's write this. And after that, I will write emp.id. Okay. So this ID column is also there, and this is what employee number. So now let's try to run the server one more time. Okay. Let's refresh it, and you can see the ID is there. Okay. Right. So these ID are there. Let's suppose I have to delete this particular record. So what I will do on the URL, I will share the ID. So what is this record ID? The record ID is one. So I will share this one ID. So for this delete, let's create the delete view. Okay. So what we will create? We will create the delete view. And where we create the view? We create the view in the views.py file. Okay. So let's go to the views.py file and let's try to create the view. So just go to the views.py file, right? So we are not working with insert, we are working with delete. Okay, so for deleting it, let's create def delete view. Okay, so this is what delete view. So it will take default parameter as usual, all the views takes it, but the extra parameter it will take one ID. Why we are giving ID? So that we can uniquely delete these records. Okay, based on the ID. Okay. Now what I will do, based on that ID, I will fetch the record from the database, right? We have already database. In the database, all the employees record are there. Okay. So my question is, do you want to fetch all the employees detail to delete, or do you want to fetch only the single employee details to delete? Okay. All employees, do you want to fetch, or just for one employee? So the answer is I want to fetch one employee record to delete, right? So how we can write ORM query to fetch the one employee record. So what I will do, I will write here the table name. So, or we can say model name. Model name is employee and dot objects dot what we write. Generally we write all means we are selecting all the records from the database, but we don't need to select all the records. Okay, let's cut it, but we want to select only the one record. For selecting the one record, what you will write, you will write here get method. Okay, in the get method it will fetch only one record. But which record you want to fetch? Here we have multiple records. Can you see? Here we have multiple records, but we have to fetch the single record. For single record, we have single ID for each record. Okay, so these IDs cannot be duplicate. These IDs are the primary key, and primary key cannot be a duplicate key, right? So means for each record we have unique ID. So that is why we will mention here unique ID. So what we will do, based on ID, we will fetch the record. We will say ID is equals to ID. Okay, now you might be confused like what is ID equals to ID. So let me tell you, this ID is nothing but this ID. And from where this ID is coming, this ID will come. Okay, so this ID will come whenever someone click on this delete button. Okay, so with respective ID will go to the URL with request. Okay, so the ID is what? One. Okay, so now let me tell you the record. I mean the request default request is coming, but ID also coming. What is the ID? The ID is one. So that one ID is coming. So here is also one ID, and that one ID we are assigning to this ID. Okay, so generally what is the mean? This complete ID equals to ID will replaced by the one, right? So what it will do from the employee table, this object mapper will get that record which ID is one, which record ID is one. Okay, so that is how it will work. Hope you are understanding. Now what we have to do, if I got the single record, what we are getting? Single record. Once we got the single record, we will store it inside a variable. What's the variable name? Employee. Okay, or we can say reference variable. Okay, now what to do? What we will do? We will perform the delete operation. To perform the delete operation, we have employee. Okay, so employee is a reference variable for that particular record, and we will write here delete. Delete is what? Inbuilt function. Okay, dot delete. Okay, so it will delete that particular record. Once you have deleted the record, so what we have to do, where we have to return to the home page. So return redirect, and here we are mentioning forward slash. Forward slash means mentioning forward slash means it means we are saying go to the home page. Okay, returning back to home page, right? I hope it is clear for everyone. Okay, so now the question is, when I'm clicking on this, can you see what it is going here? Hash is coming. When I'm clicking on this button, okay, so when I'm clicking on this delete button, instead of going that ID which is one, what it is going? It is going hash, right? But that should not be the case. Here, instead of hash, one should go. So for that, what we will do? For that we will follow two steps. Okay, so let me tell you in a proper easy way so that you can implement it. So the step one we have to follow, which is the step one is there is an anchor tag. Okay, so where is the anchor tag? Just go into the okay, so from where we are getting this data. Okay, from the table we have created the table structure now. So on that table we have to find this delete. Delete is what? This is the anchor tag. Okay, delete is the anchor tag. So let's go to the templates, and this is the index template. Here we have the delete button. Okay, here we are getting delete. If you want to keep it as a bootstrap button, so you can mention class btn danger. Maybe spelling is wrong or correct, I don't know. Let's check. So refresh it. So see it, these all the things are coming as a button. Okay, so what I want, when I'm clicking on this, it should come. So on URL their ID should go, right? So what I will do, I will take this particular anchor tag, right, and let me just keep it here. So in the step one, what I will do, instead of writing here hash, I will place here what I'm going to place. I'm going to place here the URL. Okay, which URL? Delete URL. Okay, so for the delete, we need to create the URL. Okay, so we will create that URL as well, don't worry. So we need to mention here delete, and after that we have to mention the ID. Okay, which ID? EMP ID. What is this EMP ID? This EMP ID is nothing but this ID. Okay, this EMP ID is nothing but the first column name is what? EMP ID. Okay, so first column name is EMP ID, that is the unique ID which we are talking about. So that ID should go. Okay, when I click on this, so that ID should go. Now the second thing is step 2. Step 2 is what? We need to create the delete URL. Okay, when I'm talking about delete URL, so you can go to the urls.py, and here you can see here we have empty URL, here we have insert URL. But do we have any delete URL? No, we don't have any delete URL. So what I need to do, I'll create the delete URL. I will say delete, right, forward slash, and views dot delete view. Right, is that clear? I hope it is clear. Okay, now what we have to do, basically this URL is a normal URL which usually we create. So what we need to do here in the step 2, we need to update this URL as well. So initially we are mentioning delete, but when I click on this, when I click on this anchor tag, so it is forwarding to this delete. Okay, so this delete is nothing but this delete point, but it is also sending the ID, and that ID type is what? Can you tell me what is the ID? Is that integer or string or float? Definitely it is what? Integer. So integer means we need to mention here. Where we need to mention? Here we need to mention what type of the ID it is. So I will say this is what? Integer ID. That's it. That is the thing we need to do. Okay, because while clicking on the button, while clicking on which button? While clicking on this delete button, right, on the URL, what we are doing? On the URL we are sending the employee ID, and who is receiving this employee ID? This particular view, delete view. And what's the type of the ID? Integer ID. And where it is redirecting? It is calling to the views dot delete view. And in the delete view, in this delete view, what we have written? We have written the code to delete that particular record. Okay, so can we update it? Can we update it? Can we update it in real URL? So here it is our incomplete URL. Let's complete it. So how we can complete it? By mentioning the ID type. So ID type is what? Integer ID. That's it. Is that clear? Right? I hope it will be clear for everyone. Okay. So can we test now? Can we test now whether this button is working or not? Earlier I clicked on this. What happened? It is pointing to hash. If I am clicking on this, it is pointing to hash. Why? Because I didn't refresh. So let's refresh it. Now let's try to check. I'm clicking on this. Okay, still it is pointing to hash. Let's check whether we have updated it in the URL or not. Okay, in the URL still we have that particular hash. But we don't need to write hash. As I said, we need to update the URL with this particular thing. Okay, yes. So when someone click on this delete button, it will call to which particular URL? Delete URL, and it will send the ID. Okay, who will receive this ID? This URL. So delete URL. What's the ID? Integer ID. After this integer ID, the request and the ID will move to the views. And in the view, we have written the logic to delete that URL. Okay, so let's try to test it now. So let's click on delete. Let me delete this. Okay, so record has deleted. Can I delete this? Yes, record has deleted. So you might be thinking nothing is displaying on this, but this is not the case. Can you focus here? Where? Can you focus here somewhere? You will see when I'm hovering the mouse, you will see like that ID number also coming. So let's see. Let's see. When I'm hovering, so what's the ID? 2 ID. What's the ID? Now the ID is 3. What's the ID? ID is 4. Forward slash delete and 4. The ID is now 6. So based on that ID we are deleting. So we are deleting this also. Okay. Deleted, deleted. Inserting. So we are able to insert also. Like ID is what? 321. Name is like let's suppose Sachin, and the salary is let's suppose 50,000, and the place address is what? Address is let's suppose Hyderabad. Insert record. So record inserted successfully. What's the record ID? Yes, right now. Okay. Now what we have to do? Similarly, we have to create the update. Update logic we have to write. So, but before writing the update logic, let's take the screenshot of this. So today is day 39. Well, let's keep it here. Okay. Now what we have to do? We have to update the. We have to perform the update operation. Okay. So to perform the update operation, let's go to the update hyper hyperlink. So this is what update anchor tag, right? If can I give here boosted class? So we can say class ptn primary primary. Okay, let's check how it is looking. So I'm talking about this particular button. Okay, I didn't refresh, but I will refresh, then it will be changed into the button. So can you see the button is there right now? So button is coming. Okay. So but this button, there is a problem with this button because when I'm clicking on this button, what symbol you are getting? You can see here, you can see here somewhere, you will see the hash symbol. So when I'm hovering on this button, what I'm getting hash symbol. And here on the URL, I'm getting the hash symbol. But what I need to do, I need to send the ID. So as you already know, these two steps we have to follow with the, I mean, with update as well. So where is the update button? This is the update button. So what I will write, I will create one update URL. So let's write here update and mention the employee ID, emp.id. Similarly, okay, nothing new is here. Okay, so what is the step one? Step one is we have to update the URL, anchor tag, right? Okay, specifically, we have to mention this URL. By removing the hash, we need to add this. Okay, next, what we need to do, we need to create the URL. Okay, because we mentioned the update URL, but that update URL does not available. Delete URL is available, update is not available. Do you want to check? Let's check. URLs. So we have delete URLs. There is no update URL. So can we create? So we can create path and update, right? And we need to mention the ID because we are sending ID. So ID is what type? Integer type, right? Do we have created update view? No, we didn't create any update view. So what I will do, I'll create the update view first. Then we will come back here. Okay, so when you will go to the views, so it will showing so many views, but there is no update view because we didn't create that. So let's create that update view first. Just go to the views.py file, and in the views.py file, okay, in the views.py file, what I need to do, just need to create the update view. So def update underscore view request then ID. And what I need to do now, I need to fetch the one employee information. So can I use this? Okay, my laptop is hanging. Anyway, let me do it. So I am fetching the single record based on that ID. Can I store into the reference variable which is employee? Now what I need to do with this reference variable, I need to create the form object. Why we are creating form object? Let me tell you. Let's suppose this is the form. I mean this is the records. So when I'm clicking on this update button, so what I need to update, okay, and what is the existing information? It should come means when I'm clicking on this update button, there should be a form which is containing the ID, which is containing the name, which is containing the salary, etc. So here already details are there. Let's suppose I'm talking about this. So we have ID is what 108, okay, but from 108 to I have changed into 109. How you can do that? Let's suppose name is what Sachin. Name is what Sachin. I want to change. So name is what Sachin. but this name I want to change with Sanich, I mean Sachin. Uh, I want to mention here, let's suppose Arvaz. So first of all, what I need the existing information now. So I will create the object form. I'll create the form object, and the form object should bring this record. Okay, when I'm clicking on the update button, this update button, so corresponding details should be there on the forms field. Okay, form field should not be empty. That's what I'm trying to say. If it will not be empty, then I can delete and I can edit, I can update right now. So let's try to do it. I hope you're understanding. Let me tell you with code as well. So here we will fetch that employee, and that employee object we will create. Okay. So what I will do, I will say employee form. We have created employee form now. So the employee form object we will create, right? And it is what form. So when you are writing employee object, so how you will get the existing employee information? So existing employee information is there in this employee, because that the ID of that employee is whatever ID we are sending while clicking, that employee we are fetching. What we are fetching? The single record. So that employee, with that employee we will create the record. So we will say here there is one value which is known as, there is word which is known as instance. Okay, and we will say instance equals to employee. Instance refer to the current record, current object. Okay, so we are saying create the form of the current object, right? And to display the form, we need to create the, we need to create what? We need to create one HTML. So we will redirect return and render this request, okay, to the test, okay, to the test app inside update.html. Okay, also we have to send this form, right? We have to send this form as a context. So I will say context dictionary, which is form is a key and form is a value. Okay, is there any update.html? There is no update.html here. You can check. So let's create one update.html. So just click on this new, right here, update.html. Okay, so in the update.html, what we need to do? Tell me what we need to do. Okay, so let's go to the update.html, and here what we will do, here we will write the doc type first, doc type, okay, and then we will extend what? We'll try to extend that base.html. So right here extends and desktop base.html, right? And after that, what we have to do basically in the insert as well, what we are doing, we are creating the, okay, we are creating this block. Okay. So that block we will use and we will modify it. Okay. So because this view, which view? This update view also sending the form object, right? So here that we will write the update form. Okay. So here we will say update employee update page. Okay. So the method is post. If the method is post, so this is what, if this should validate the CSRF token validation. And if it is verifying the CSRF token validation, means this is what post request. And the post request, then in the view also we need to write, we need to write, we need to actually check whether this is the post request or not. So in order to check this, what we will do, we will write the if condition. Okay, what we are going to write? We are going to write if condition. Okay, so we will say if request dot method is equals to right, if equals to what, post, then what we need to do, then we have to create the form object with post request. Okay, so this is the object which without post request, but we have to create the same thing with post request. If it is a post request, then we will say we'll keep the same, but the thing is here we will mention request dot post, right? And if this object has created, if this object has created, then what we have to do, we have to check whether this form is satisfying the, this form is satisfying the we can say CSRF token validation or not. So in order to check that, we will write here form dot is underscore valid. Okay, and if it is valid, then updated details. The updated details we will save. So how we will save? We will write form dot save. That's it. Right now, once we have done this, once we have done this, then we have to, after updating, we have to redirect to the home page. Okay, hope you are understanding why I have created this. Because if the request method is what post, then we will create the object like this. Okay, and if the request is post, means form is coming with some data, and that data, before saving to the database, before saving that data into database, we need to check whether it is following the CSRF validation or not. If yes, then save. Once done, then redirect to the home page. If that is not the post request, if it is not the post request, this complete code will not execute. What will execute? The return statement will execute. This return will execute. The object will create and it will return. But if this condition is true, this complete code will execute. Okay, and this form, see, we are creating form here. This is an empty, but if this condition is true, the this form will override with this form. Right now, hope you're understanding. Okay, so let's check whether we have updated the URLs or not. So in the index.html, we updated the update URL. In the urls.py, we have written update and we mentioned the ID, it is integer, and we were waiting for the view. So now do we have update view or not? Yes, we have update view. Now let's check whether will it work or not. So let me just refresh first. So now can you see it is what it is displaying now? Instead of displaying that particular hash symbol, it is displaying what? It is displaying the ID 2108. So it is displaying ID. So let's say suppose I have to click on this update. So it is displaying employee update page. Let's suppose I'm saying Sachin, instead of Sachin, I want to mention Arvas. Okay, let's say Khan. Insert. Okay, so can you see the record has updated right now? Let's suppose you want to add new record, just click on insert. So this time this is what empty form when we are creating new. So triple one name is Shizuka and salary is what, 80,000, and the address is what, hmm, the address is, let's say, Firozabad. Inserted. Can you see the record inserted? Okay. And if you want to update the record, you can update. Instead of Firozabad, I want to say Agra. Just insert it. So it is displaying the Agra. Okay. And delete also working. Let's suppose I want to delete this. So delete it. So is that the example? This complete project is the example of correct. Okay, so C means create. Create means by clicking on this insert button, we are able to insert a new object. I mean the new record in the database. So this is what correct. I mean C, create. Okay, R means read. Read means the data from the database we are displaying here. These all data is coming from the database. Okay, these all data saved into the database and it is coming to the database. So what we are doing, reading or fetching. Creating is done, reading, fetching is done. Now uh, U stand for update. So for update the record we have update button. Can you see, we have the update button. Okay, so update also done. And D stand for delete. To delete the record we have delete button, and this is also working. Okay, it is in working condition. Okay, so it will delete the record. I didn't create the beautiful interface or the home page by using the images. I can use the image, I can make it more interesting, more wonderful, I can make it more representable. But if I will do a representable thing, so it will be like more like front end. But here what we are learning, we are learning back end, right? We are learning what backend. In the backend you are worried about your business logic, not the front end. The front end developer will make this project more presentable. The idea is, as a backend developer you should understand logics, how the things are communicating, how the things are working. Okay, so that is why we have done this current operation. You might be thinking this project is very simple and easy. Yes, I want to keep this project simple and easy so that everyone can understand. Now it's your task, you make this project more representable. You just post this project on LinkedIn. Okay, you post this project LinkedIn, you can mention me. Okay, so if you will mention me, I'll be able to see like my students are progressing, my students are working on their projects, they are not watching, they are also learning. Okay, so tag me on LinkedIn. Okay, post this project on LinkedIn. If you don't know how to deploy the project, don't worry about it, you just take the screenshot, you just create a video of your project, like 30-second video or 20-second video that you can do. Okay, and you can post on LinkedIn, right? And it will be very valuable for me if such LinkedIn post will come through this content. Okay, so thank you everyone for giving your valuable time. So now the time is, I need to push this code on GitHub so that everyone can access it, so that you guys can practice it. Okay, in case if you stuck somewhere, you can see the code, but I will recommend you to not copy and paste this code. So I will write here git add git commit Hyphen M, current. The day is what? This is the day 39, I guess. It is 39. Let me check it once. So the day is 39, yes. So the day is 39. Okay, so get, okay. So just click on this link, and here you can see the repository, and in the repository you can see the comment. In the comment you can see current operation. Okay, but don't click on the comment, otherwise it will display the comment only. Just click on the folder beside it. Okay, so here you can access this test app in the view or not test. In the views you can see all the logic whatever we have used. Okay, so this is very simple guys, you can practice it. Okay, what was the second step? Second step was we have created this update. So this was the second step. Let me mention it here. Okay, let me just keep it text box. So what we need to do, just we need to take care of this. Okay, so let me just take the screenshot. Okay, so all done guys. Thank you everyone for giving your valuable time. Okay, I hope you will practice. I hope you will do the LinkedIn post as well. Okay, so do the active learning. Show everyone then you are also learning. You are not just watching, you are also doing. So how you can display it? You can post on LinkedIn, and don't forget to mention me on the LinkedIn. Okay, thank you everyone. Okay, so stop sharing.